Let's continue here on BOXTOROW with the Radio Boss. We're joined by a young woman. I'm telling you, I'm very excited about this because we had this young woman on back in January of last year prior to COVID-19, and she just continues to really do big things. Like I'm watching, watch BET with the BET, her, that is, and they have, they had a video on, it was Pick a Side. I almost didn't recognize this young lady in the video. It was so dope. She's one of the dope artists. She is Raiche, joins us here on BOXTOROW with the Radio Boss. What's going on, Raiche? Welcome back to the program.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. Glad to have you. I got to start there. The video, Pick a Side, like really, really dope. Speak about the inspiration behind the video.
Thank you. Well, so Pick a Side obviously is talking about, the title alone is kind of like the dual sense of, one side or the other. So we wanted to play with duality. So the topic and the mood board was duality. In the first half, you can tell it's a little darker, and then the second half is like a little bright and light and playful. So there's like two sides of Raiche. And then also in the beginning of Pick a Side, we put a little clip of Funeral, which is like kind of showing like the bad side of what you could get from me in a relationship. Like if you treat me wrong, if you don't choose the right side,
We don't want that.
No, Raiche is a little feisty.
No question. Feisty. Yeah, because Funeral, and these two songs were released really like 3 weeks apart, I believe, at least according to some official information from Atlantic Records. Talk about Funeral too. Like that's, also a dope song as well.
Thank you. So I heard Funeral before it was finished. Some writers were working on it. Actually, this really dope writer, Davion, and then Sir Charles and Prince Charles. I heard some of it, and then I took it and kind of made it my own. We switched around some of the words. It was like really hardcore at first, and I made it fit my sensual, I don't know, just myself, I guess. Let me just say myself.
Sure.
And I absolutely love it. And I 100% relate to it. And I think a lot of females can relate to it. I remember going through a breakup a while ago and feeling like, oh, I wish that I had music that like made me feel like I could get over this man, or made me feel like I wanted, like, like Jasmine Sullivan type of stuff. Like I wish I had more of that. And so that's kind of was like the mood and inspiration, I feel like, for putting that song out and having that song.
Yeah, matter of fact, Jasmine Sullivan's got a new album. She's got a new song that, to your point, it speaks exactly to. Is she like one of your inspirations?
I think that, I was definitely a late bloomer in like finding new music and music in general, because I was very sheltered as a child and just growing up. But when I started to kind of go out and branch out and listen to music, she's definitely was somebody that I listened to. I remember hearing that car, Bust the Windows Out Your Car, that song, like maybe like I was like a senior, or it was like right out of high school. Like that was the first time I heard that song. And I remember thinking like, damn, like this sounds like it was like a classic, like oldie, but it had just recently come out. So well, not maybe just recently, but yeah, Jasmine Sullivan, she's definitely an inspiration. She's got so much soul in her voice, and she is like the dopest vocalist out there right now. So her too.
Yeah, no question. But right. But we got a dope vocalist with us right now. The one and only Raiche joins us here on BOXTOROW with the Radio Boss. So you talked about the inspiration behind Pick a Side in the video. Like we hadn't seen you like that. Like you've done a couple of videos, hadn't seen you like that in the video before. It was, you were just you to the point. Yeah. Did you have a lot of creativity with respect to that video? Was that something that your team did, or talk about sort of that process behind the video?
Right now it is more so of my team. I've also always give like certain points of views that I like, and I always give opinions and stuff. One day I do want to completely do my own videos. I'm a very like, I don't know, I really I appreciate art, and I don't know, I have mood boards and vision boards and vision boards, and just like pictures and images and videos like stacked up. So I'm really excited to be able to do my own video one day, but I definitely give opinions and, give them my point of view and, expressions, and they kind of work with that.
Yeah, no question about it. How, for you, has COVID-19 affected you? I believe when we at least talked last year, you were a part of a tour or getting ready to go on tour. How has COVID affected you?
Well, I'm not able to go out and like tour my song right now, my single, which is like literally all over radio stations. So that is kind of, hard. And like I'm not able to create that relationship with fans right now, which kind of sucks. But well, yes, yeah, that's really it. I mean, other than that, I've just been recording a lot and writing and in the studio, because that's really all that I can do. I did a radio tour and it was just Zooms. So, I mean, it's definitely affected it. It's affected it tremendously. But yeah. I'm so grateful for, where I'm at, and, my label, and, my production company, and, the music that I'm creating, and the fact that it's being pushed still. So.
Yeah, no, because I've heard Pick a Side quite a few times. Like I saw the video first, but I've heard it quite a few times. And I don't know if I had heard Funeral or even some of the other records on as much. So that's got to be exciting that the song is getting heavy rotation on radio.
Yeah. It's extremely exciting. I think we're just really building up to a solid project, which I'm not sure exactly when will be coming out, but I'm sure it'll be coming out this year. And hopefully by the end of the year, things will be opened to the point where I'll be able to tour that project. So that's the plan. Those are the goals.
Yeah, no question. Because you've been doing this for quite some time now, right? Like, how many years have you sort of been in the music industry?
I think it's been like 6 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, that is pretty long.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I guess I even think that I can't even say that. Like, sometimes I feel bad saying that, because I know there's some artists who have been doing this for like years and years and years, and sometimes don't even come close to where I'm at, So I'm very grateful for my 6 years that I've been in this and the progress that I've made.
True, but I mean, I'm just saying at the same time, they may not have as much of the talent that you possess. That's the thing. So can you speak?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you sort of speak to maybe the patience that you have to have in this industry? Because like you said, you've been doing it 6 years. I mean, I've followed you the last year, and I'm like, you're starting to get out there a little bit more, but you've had to have patience over this 6 years.
Yes, definitely. I think that is a huge key, patience. But also it's like when you do have that patience, you then find like the beauty in the journey, like these moments that I'm building, like these are the good times, like these are the best parts. Growing in it, and the little baby steps that I've been making. Some of them are massive steps, like hitting radio is really huge, but all of these little things are, yes, you have to have patience to get to the point, but like it's the journey. Like, I mean, that's kind of cliche, and you've probably heard it, everybody's probably heard it like massive amounts of times, but like the more that I really truly grasp that concept, the more I am, or have the feeling of gratitude and have the feelings of excitement, and the more I learn, and the more that I create better, and create new things. And so it's like literally they go hand in hand. I don't know, it's quite a beautiful thing.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, the voice of Raiche, who joins us here on BOXTOROW with the Radio Boss. What does it mean to you? Like, I've seen a lot of artists, signed, like you look at Janelle Monáe, you look at Seven Streeter. I mean, I don't know if they're still signed to Atlantic, but like early on, and we were able to talk with them. Atlantic does a good job. So how does it feel, especially only because, to your point, even though you're right, 6 years isn't that long, and to be signed to an Atlantic 6 years in, that's pretty major.
4 years I've been signed to Atlantic. Okay. 2 years I was independent.
Yeah. So, but what does that mean in turn to you to have been or now signed to Atlantic for 4 years, only 6 years into the business?
Yeah. Well, actually it was, so yeah, I was in the business for 2 years and then I was signed to Atlantic. So that was massive.
Right.
That was huge. And you know, my production company and just myself, like we had to work on really creating like the image and a sound. So, yeah, it's been a journey and I've been extremely grateful to be signed to Atlantic because they're like a huge label and like one of the best labels for really getting out there and getting to the level that I want to get to. So I'm like extremely grateful. I was just thinking about that today. I was like, Atlantic does a really good job at like pushing music. You know what I mean? Like almost every artist that I was hearing on the radio, I feel like was like an Atlantic artist. So that's really cool.
Yeah, no question. What are you finding out about the music, the business of the music industry? Again, you're sort of newer, 6 years, right? And you have some people that have been around for a long time. So what are you learning about the business side of the music industry?
I think that you just always have to double check your paperwork and be always looking around you to see who's for you. You know, it can be a shady business, but it also can be really beautiful and really fun.
Yeah. So for you, your sound, it's like, you know, R&B infused with some pop. Like it's not really defined. I mean, you have a sound that I don't think anybody else really has right now. How would you describe your sound?
I don't even know, but I think that's like 100% true because that's like all I've been, like that's what my life's work has like, you know, well, my youth at least, like creating my sound, creating my voice. Even when I was younger, like I have read and heard on American Idol, if you want to make it in this industry, you don't want to sound like anybody else. And so I was like, okay, how do I do that? And so I started listening to pieces of other people, you know, and really fusing it with myself. So I'm really thankful and grateful that now is being seen and appreciated. And like, I'm kind of getting confirmation that like, yep, you're doing it right. You're good. You are your own entity. And I mean, we all are, you know what I mean? But in this music, I'm definitely really grateful and proud that people can see that.
Have you always, I mean, growing up, and I've read this, but I want you to talk with us a little bit, or the listeners and the viewers about this. Music has always really been in your blood in essence. But is it something you've always wanted to do?
Yes. Yeah, 100%. I remember being little. I think I was like, I had my first play that I had a solo. So my first solo, and I played an angel and I had a solo and I sang it. And I remember coming down from the stage. I think I was like 7, or I want to say 6 or 7. And everybody was just like, oh my God, you sounded like an angel, or you sounded so beautiful. I can't believe that little voice, like that voice came out of that little body. Like it was just so much, you know what I mean? And I was like, wow, I can actually sing. That's when I realized I could sing. And then from there, I just was always dreaming about it. And like daydreaming about it and looking at the artists. And that's when we got like, maybe it was a little bit after, I can't remember exactly when American Idol came out, but we were like religiously watching it. And I remember when it would come on, if I didn't have my homework done, like I couldn't watch it. And I was like, oh, like stressed. I was like, I would sit behind the couch and be like peeping over, like doing my homework during the breaks and stuff. So, and my mother sang, she was like the worship leader. My Nana sang. My dad even sang for a little bit of time. My other cousin, she sang. She's one of my older cousins. She's got this beautiful, like airy voice. And like, I always would just listen to her and be like, like, and my mother too, just listening to her voice, like in church was just like really, I don't know, like another level. It's like, I don't know, worship is really good. But then when it's like your mother, we're the worship, hearing that worship music, it's like another level. So yeah, music has always been in my life. And I remember my older sister asked me too, like, what do you want to be when you go to, or what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to be an artist. I want to be a singer. She was like, no, but really, what do you want to do? And I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to be an artist. And she like couldn't really, I don't know, a lot of people don't really believe that it can happen. For some reason, I like thought that it could happen. And it did. So I think that's all you really have to have is some confidence in yourself.
It certainly has happened. The one and only Raiche joins us here on the program. Did you ever consider going on American Idol?
I did. Actually, I auditioned. I did.
Oh, did you?
I did. With my sister, we auditioned. I don't know which season it was, but I just turned 16, or maybe I was 15 turning 16. I can't remember, but I was so nervous. We got through. So before you get to the judges, it's like 3 rounds. And we got through the first 2, and we were about to get to the 3rd round. And we just got so nervous. But I remember them, like, they you know how they like do special stories and stuff on people? Mm-hmm. Like they were planning on doing a special story. We got like stickers for that. Like the camera was following us around for like those 2 rounds that we did. We even like left the city, came back for the other one. There were the cameras, you know, we got our stickers, like, so shit was about to go down. But we got really nervous. It was like the last round to get to the 3 judges was like a panel of people, and they were all so serious, like straight faces, like they didn't even care, which I mean, yeah, it's like their job. So they're probably a little bit jaded of hearing like hundreds of people throughout the day. They're the ones who really hears all of those people, you know what I mean? Those massive lines that you see. But yeah, so I did, but nothing really happened on that. But I'm okay because I'm happy about my journey and where I am now. And I think things probably would have been different. And yeah. So.
Yeah, but they messed up. I mean, clearly they didn't get it right.
Well, I mean, I can't even lie. It probably was terrible. I couldn't even breathe. I couldn't even breathe. So, I mean, you can imagine if you can't even breathe what it sounds like to hear that voice of somebody who can't even breathe. It's just nothing's coming out. Nothing. It's all bad.
Okay, so it was just that moment in time. They okay. Well, we'll give them a pass a little bit for that. The one and only Raiche joins us here on the program. So now you were on your way to Full Sail University, correct? And you mentioned wanting to be an artist and all of that. So talk about that part in your life. You ultimately did not go to Full Sail.
No. I was so confused after high school. I knew that college like wasn't for me, and my mother knew it too. Like, so she didn't force me to go to school, like the typical stories that you hear, which I'm extremely grateful for. But she just knew that I was a creative person. Like, so college was definitely not my route. My older sister went to college though, and she did great. She's actually my manager, one of my managers right now. She went to school for business management, and she's, that was good for her. But I definitely looked in, and I was going to go, I think I did like a phone call type of situation, and then like an online tour, because I was obviously in Massachusetts and Full Sail was in Florida. But I don't know. I think the only thing that scared me was taking out a loan, which is silly now because I think it would have actually been really helpful. But I think also I probably would still, even now, like do like online courses there. I think it'd be really smart and really dope to take that time out for myself to really learn, like maybe just engineering or I don't know, maybe an instrument one day. I finally cut my nails off, so I might be learning the guitar soon. Let's just don't get too much hope though, because I don't want to let anybody down. Just keep, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then shortly thereafter, you're from Mansfield, Massachusetts. What is that? A couple hours from Boston?
Not Mansfield, but Pittsfield.
Pittsfield, okay.
Close. And yeah, about 2 hours from Boston, and then like an hour from the borderline of New York. So close. Like what is it called again? I don't know why I'm blanking on this, but like Western Mass type area.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then it just sort of took off from there once you got to Boston?
When I went to Boston, I met a DJ, and he just got my information. It was nothing. I don't know. It was like nothing serious, anything of it. And he had messaged me a couple times on Instagram because he had seen that I posted a video of me singing. I used to do just little like clips of me singing. Like I'd write little pieces and sometimes sing them, or I'd just do like covers and sing them on there. And he messaged me about that and was like, do you take this seriously or do you want to take this seriously? And he just kept up with me for like, I think it was a year and a half. It was a while. And because I was a little like, oh, dude, what do you want from me? Like, this is weird. Like, I don't want anything from you. I don't like you like that. But he wasn't that way at all. He was very friendly. Like, you know, we created like a friendship online and it was cool. And we created a trust between each other. And then when I was like back and forth from Boston. So then when I was down there again, he was like, well, meet me at the studio. It was a Berkeley studio and I felt safe. And I was like, okay. And it turned out that it was literally right down the street from me. I was like calling an Uber and everything. I get in the Uber and it was like literally 2 minutes away. And I was like, wait, what? So it was just felt right, you know? And when I went there, he introduced me to his production company that was there. I sang for them. They were just like, immediately, we want to sign you. And so I signed to a production company. And then a year later, we just started creating, well, not a year later, but through the year, we started creating, you know, a cover EP of covers, and then started doing a couple originals. And some of those got into the hands of Prince Charles, who has a imprint with Atlantic Records, and we just signed right over. Took about a year, like maybe a year, and I think it was a year and a couple months actually. So it was about in total 2 years. So I was doing it, like I said, the music industry for 2 years, and then I signed with Atlantic.
Wow.
It was really quick, honestly. I'm extremely grateful, but it was definitely a quick journey.
Very good. Last two thoughts. So Loveland is the forthcoming album, correct? That you hope is going to come out at some point this year. What can we expect on Loveland?
Loveland is so fun. It's just like there's a lot of different vibes in there, but they're all Raiche. And it's really cool. Like, I think there's all different types of like pick-a-sides in there. I could say something like that. Yeah. It's just a really dope vibe. It's fun. It's, you know, urban, but still pop. And it's just me. And I'm really, really, really proud of it. And I'm really excited for it to come out. It's dope.
Awesome. Now, are you a big sports fan?
I wish I was. I'm such a girly girl. I think. No. I think I appreciate them. I appreciate sports, and I can always sit there and like point things out and understand it. But am I going to choose to sit and watch sports on TV? No. But I would go to, like, I've been to, when I lived in Boston, I went to a basketball game. That was fun. That was really cool. And
Celtics?
I know it's going on. So what was that?
The Celtics?
Celtics, right?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I think they were playing like, I don't even know, maybe like the LA like or Heat, the Heat, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Heat. Mm-hmm. Miami Heat. There you go. You know what's happening.
So that's about it for sports. But
well, check her out. Pick a Side is available now. Funeral is available now. Also follow her on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. She's blowing up. She's the one and only. Right. She joins us here on BOXTOROW with the Radio Boss. Raiche, once again, appreciate the time. Continued success in all you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.